Hello and welcome to our third session of being mindful. And it's being mindful and relating to the now, learning to relate to the new now, the new present moment that we are all adjusting to. Today, we're going to take a look a little bit more at the rekindling piece of mindfulness. The three steps: the reboot, the relax, and the rekindle, that we've talked about in the two prior. Reboot, by you just being here. You've already stopped what you're doing and taking in the present moment. Since we are sensory beings, it's so important for us to take it all in on the outside, but also to take everything in and the inside as well. And then we talked about the relax piece, which was all about the breath, and that the breath is our anchor. Our breath is our recentering. It's our grounding piece that allows our bodies to respond in a more calming way. So that depending upon how you breathe, it can do many amazing and wonderful things to lower your blood pressure and heart rate. And then the third piece is that rekindle. And that rekindle is, I think, the muscle of mindfulness. It is the place in which I believe is probably the most difficult piece for people, because this is where you're rekindling that internal light that you have within yourself. It's the time in which we focus most on our strengths and weaknesses most of the time. See, mindfulness is kind of a mental skill developer. I like to look at it. It allows us to build on being non-judgmental and being compassionate to ourselves, because we are most critical to ourselves. And if we're extremely critical to ourselves, we're going to be extremely critical to the world around us. It would just be natural. So to practice these inspirational, motivational concepts and ideas is super important, because the more we hear, the more we see, the more we say, the more we believe. And every time we turn around right now, whether it's social media, the news, watching it on TV, movies, music, a lot of it has this real negative undertone. And it's going to be easy to get caught up in all of that. And so we have to be truly mindful at finding time and places to rekindle that relationship with ourselves, where we are kind, compassionate, forgiving, understanding, gracious, accepting of ourselves, so that we keep that internal light shining extremely bright, because we are special people and we are amazing, and we need to learn how to provide ourselves with self-care. I was reading something today and it shocked me, because I've been working on being mindful for quite a few years now. And so I forget what it's like when I first started. And providing anyone skills with self-care can be pretty intimidating, because these types of skills, people have to do a lot of self-reflection, and self-reflection is really hard. In fact, I read a quote where it said, when you finally start to look inward at your own relationship with yourself, it can at first be an uncomfortable and an unpleasant experience. Sydney Campos is an author of a book that I was just reading, and I read a variety of things, and she made that statement, and I said, oh my gosh, that is so true. Most of the time when we do look at ourselves, we have to be vulnerable. We have to be vulnerable to opening things that we probably have kind of ignored or closed our eyes to. And we need to do that. I think it's also extremely important, because in our society, we have been taught that the more we do and the busier we are, the more important we are and the more successful we are. And I wouldn't say that that's always the case, because most of our huge people, most of the time when you think about it, the people in media that are super important and have been super successful. Many of them are mindful. LeBron James, he's a practitioner of mindfulness, and so was Kobe Bryant. We look at people like Ellen DeGeneres, Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs. What an innovator he was. And he knew that he had to be mindful, and he had to practice being mindful with meditation, because it was so important to take care of ourselves. Because when we take care of ourselves, we also become more creative and open to the environment, and not just within ourselves. And look at the things that he was the innovator of, and how it affects us today. So it's something to think about, and something to really kind of reflect on. But most of the time, people don't realize that their lives are too much in a manic mode. And they don't realize it until they're able to kind of stop and breathe. And I think this opportunity that we've been given are giving people the opportunity to stop and breathe, because we have been we have been way too accustomed to overscheduling ourselves, overscheduling our families, our kids, our activities, always having to be busy and on the go, that we don't really realize what it's like to hit the pause button and just do some things of self-care to make ourselves as healthy as possible. We're actually required we're kind of requiring ourselves to be given permission to do this. So like today, I would like to say that I'm giving you all permission to find time to pause and to reboot. I'm giving you permission to find time to make conscious breath and relax and find a sense of peace. I'm giving you all permission to celebrate yourself, and to inspire yourself, and to nurture yourself, and to be giving to yourself, and to be forgiving to yourself. I think that's what most people need because of this overscheduling. I feel uneasy. People are waiting to be given permission to say it's important to pause. It's important to reflect. And that's what I'm doing today with all of you. I'm giving you all permission to zone in on self-care, to strengthen yourself from the inside out. And know that it is so important, because doing this work does help your immune functions, and it does help lower stress. It does help cortisol levels, which means it's going to help your digestion and your blood sugar, and all those types of things. It's going to help you sleep, which we all need plenty of. And some people are really struggling with being able to sleep during this time, because they're so overwhelmed with everything going around their minds. So I would like to take some time to do a great bit of meditation regarding rekindling that light within you. And so if you can, please close your eyes. Allow yourself to be in a position where you have your airway open and free, not restricted. Allow yourself to take big, deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. If you don't feel like closing your eyes, you can always do a soft gaze down, but nothing straining. Make those conscious breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, trying to make sure that those breaths, when you exhale, the exhale is longer than the inhale. All my students know that you breathe in the oxygen, And you exhale all that carbon dioxide you don't need. Now start to relax your body. Let's start from the head by allowing yourself to put your tongue down. It's probably at the roof of your mouth right now. And we want it to not be there. You will find that if you just let your jaw drop a little bit, your tongue will automatically kind of go forward and down. Immediately, you should be able to feel some of the relaxed sensation in your jaw. When we're nervous or stressed, we clench or even grind. Most of the time, we don't even know it because it's just automatic. We don't know any different. Go ahead and relax your shoulders and your arms and your hands. Almost as if they're being weighted down from gravity, saying, please, please stay down. Go next to the earth. Be grounded. Take your torso, meaning your upper back, middle, lower, abdomen, chest, and try to find that to be relaxed. Now, if there's anything that's hurting, you have any pains, just acknowledge them, address them with non-judgment and with compassion. Make sure you're engaging in those conscious breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Relax those legs, those hips, those feet, those toes. I don't know if any of you remember, but there were these toys, Weeble Wobbles. Be a Weeble Wobble. I like that word, Weeble Wobble. Be a Weeble Wobble. Because they don't fall down. Because they're grounded. They're centered. They don't have their minds spiraling out of control. Instead, they are anchored. Just like hopefully you are with that conscious breath of yours that you are doing. You also have to understand that you are going to have thoughts going in and out of your brain. It's going to happen. That's part of being mindful. That's almost like the weight of mindfulness that we are going to use to exercise that brain of ours. When those thoughts come into your mind, acknowledge them, label them, identify how they make you feel, and then let them drift away, and then get back to your anchor of conscious breath. Now you may say, gosh, my thoughts are drifting all the time. That's okay. I don't know any person who has been a marathon runner who trained one day, 2 days, or 3 days, and then went and jumped and ran a marathon successfully. This is a training. You must build your stamina. You must build skills in order to improve on your timing, improve on being able to get right back to that conscious breath. It's going to take time, and it's okay. Be kind to yourself. You're no one's perfect here. We're all perfectly imperfect, and this skill is a skill that honestly we're not used to using, and it's so important to know how to use it. Yeah. Sometimes we expect people to be able to gain focus and learn and do things just because we said, hey, it's time to learn or it's time to try new things. But not everybody's mindset is there. And just like in this experience, you're going to learn that sometimes your mind isn't there. And it's hard some days, and some days it's not so hard. So be kind and gentle and forgiving and accepting and vulnerable, and allow yourself this vulnerability, saying, you know what? I'm going to fall. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to trip up, but it's okay. Don't worry about it, because each time I'm going to learn something different, which is pretty cool. So keep taking your deep breaths, focusing on the body. Now it's time for me to hopefully inspire you a little bit, to motivate you, to give you that push you might need for the day. Not just me, but many people practice mindfulness, practice meditation, practice positivity. And remember, positivity is not always getting what you want. No, it's just knowing that everything's going to be okay. I wish I remember who said that quote or something similar. It wasn't the exact quote, but something similar, because that has stuck with me. And it is so true. Positivity is not always getting what you want. It's just knowing that in the end, everything is going to be all right. Another cleansing breath. It's not about the number of hours you practice. It's about the number of hours your mind is present during the practice. Who said this? Kobe Bryant. An amazing, amazing athlete and human. He is definitely missed, I'm sure, by many. You don't have to be perfect, but I do expect you to be present. That was Joe Madden, next manager of the Cubs. Innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity, not a threat. Steve Jobs. It's our challenges and our obstacles that give us layers of depth and make us interesting. Are they fun when they happen? No. But they are what makes us unique. Ellen DeGeneres. I wake up every morning believing today is going to be better than yesterday. Will Smith. Breathe, let go, and remind yourself that this very moment is the only one you have for sure. Oprah Winfrey. If you must look back forgivingly. If you must look forward, do it prayerfully. However, the wisest thing you can do is be present in the present, gratefully. Maya Angelou. See the past, present, and future? Which one matters the most? Our past is what made us who we are today and who we celebrate. Our future will be the result of all the opportunities and risks we decided to take or not to take. So what I would have to say is the present moment is what matters most. We need to live in the present moment so we can celebrate the amazing people we have become and build on our skills that we learn in the present in order to create and reach all of our hopes and dreams. What we do in the present matters. What we do in the present is truly who we are. So take this time and realize that you need to put self-care at the forefront. When you are kind to yourself and you know that you're trying and you know that your heart is in the right place, that's all that really matters when it comes to being present and being mindful. Have a fabulous day.